Hi, I'm Samantha, Creative Director at Dance Parent 101, and today I'm going to give you the instructions on how to make a really great ballet bar for your kids and your family at home. Now, I wanted to make a ballet bar for my girls and I wasn't sure about which instructions and which measurements I should follow. So I took instructions from a few different YouTube videos and from a few different websites, and I made a couple of those bars to see which one would actually be the best for me, as well as my kids, my 10-year-old, my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old. And this is what we've come up with. We mixed up a few of the pieces after we made them and we decided that we really like the height of this bar. So today I'm going to share my research and what I've learned about making the ballet bar with you, so you don't have to go through the stress and struggles that I did to get this thing made. So what I did is that I've drawn this diagram up on here to give you all the information on what we're doing today and also to help me explain it to you. So for a PVC ballet bar that I think is one of the best, I like the 2 bars, and I like the 2 bars because I have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old, and this means that my 10-year-old can use the top bar and my 5-year-old can use this lower bar. And I find that this bar isn't actually so low that it's not great for me as well. So the total height of this bar is going to be 41 inches and your lower bar comes to about 30.5 inches. And I've had a bit of an investigation into the height of bars, and these are actually within those ranges. An adult bar I've read should be anywhere between 40 and 44 inches high. So at 41, this is going to be great for me, and as I said, it's great for my daughter as well. What we need to make this bar, you're going to need 6 90-degree elbows. You're going to also need 4 90-degree tees. You'll need 2 lengths of 60-inch pipe, 2 lengths of 26-inch pipe, 4 lengths of 10-inch pipe and 2 lengths of 8-inch pipe. So in total, it's about 19 foot of pipe, or it's almost 5.7 meters worth. So if you're going to your hardware store to buy a length of pipe, if you're going to your local hardware store, they're either probably going to sell it to you in 10-foot lengths, or if you're in Australia, it's 3-meter lengths. So you'll need 2 of those. And if they're willing to cut it up, you've got your measurements right here and they can cut it up for you. Otherwise, you're going to need to take it home and cut it up yourself. But a 3-meter length, if you go to buy that, is probably going to be too long to fit in your car. I know when I went to my local hardware store, they don't actually have the facility to cut the PVC pipe. They said they could cut it in half or do 1 or 2 cuts, and that was it. So check out the website because I've got the right measurements for you there. Otherwise, because if you do like me, yesterday I made 2 different bars, and then I've got this one, and I'm going to be making a whole heap of other different bars. I want to try what it is like, how to make a bar with PVC and wood and a few other sort of different things. So I got a delivery of 20-foot pipe. So it's much easier for me. I just cut it as I go. But 1 20-foot length will do this bar, or 1 6-meter length, if you're in a country that does meters and centimeters, will absolutely be enough for this bar. Is that when you get to your hardware store, you're going to probably find that they have 2 different pipes. They're going to have this kind of pipe with 90-degree angles. In Australia, we call it pressure pipe. I'm not sure what it's called overseas, but it is different to this kind of pipe. That kind of stuff is used a lot for irrigation, maybe your spa, your hot tub kind of work. Those kind of joints are used for that. For your actual plumbing in your house, these type of joints or fittings are used. And these are slightly different. These are 88-degree angle, obviously, so water can flow down in the plumbing in your house and go out the drains.
But today's bar is made from pressure pipe, and I have another tutorial where I have actually made it with drainage pipe that you can take a look at it later.
The next thing you're going to be looking at is the size of your pipe. I've chosen 32 millimeter, or it's 1¼ inch pipe, because I really like the width of that, perfect for a bar. But if you can only get 1½ inch or 40 mil, that's okay as well. But the 32 mil is what I prefer. So we'll just go through the actual bar and how we're going to put it together. So I said you need the 6 elbows, and they're these pieces. You've got 1, 2 up the top, and then you've got on the feet 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a total of 6. And then we've got our T's. I said we need 4. You've got 1 here, 1 there, and then this one actually faces upwards to hold the upstanding part of the bar. And you've got the other one over here. Now, where do all our lengths go? So we've got our 60 inch across here. So we've got 60 and 60 there. And then in here, we've got our 8 inch pieces. Now you might be thinking, oh, that's not a lot of room between the two bars. Wouldn't you want 10 or 12 inches between the two of those bars? But if you have a look, because of the extra space that is in these here, it actually does give you, and I measured it, I think it was about 11 inches from the bottom of that one to the top of that one. So it does actually give you extra space if you do the 8 inches. And then down here we've got our 26 inch pieces, and then across the bottom I have 10 inch pieces. Now I did try it with 8 inch and I did try it with 12 inch. I found the 8 inch were a bit small for this length of bar. I found the 12 inch were way too wide and just looked clunky. They just looked as though they were oversized for this bar. And that's why I chose the 10 inch down the bottom. So now that we know where all the pieces go, it's just a point of getting them cut and assembling them. So first of all, I'm going to show you how I cut up all my pieces. So I've got to go outside to do that because it does get a little bit messy. And yeah, let's go see how we cut out our PVC. Okay, so as you can see, my setup for cutting my PVC is real high tech. Okay, not. And I'm showing you this because yours doesn't have to be either. You don't have to have a workshop or specific tables or anything to be able to do this. It's really simple. Now, the simplest way that I have worked out to cut the pipe is using a hacksaw. Now, there are other ways. If you've got an electrical saw, you can use that, but it does mean that you're going to have to set it up in a vise or a grip so that it doesn't move, because using that kind of equipment, you do need to make sure you're safe. So I am just using this. And the other thing I think is really important is having something that is up for you to be able to cut your pipe. And I've just got 2 chairs here. And because you can see how long the pipe is, that's 6 meter lengths, and I'll put up somewhere how much that is in foot. I've got a 3rd chair that I put out when I'm cutting the whole length. Now, another thing I do is I'm not measuring up the whole length. And the reason I do that is that when you make a cut, you're actually subtracting a little bit off the pipe. So if you just measure your whole pipe up in the first place, then go to cut it, you might find that you're a fraction off in your heights. So it's better if you just measure as you go. Okay, so I'm up to some of the smaller pieces that I'm cutting, and I'm going to be cutting 12 inch. Now, the other thing is, I'm a dancer. I do have a regular measuring tape, but it didn't actually have inches on it. So I went and got my trusty sewing one, It's got inches and centimeters on it, and I'm finding this is absolutely perfect to use to measure. So let's get on with it. Okay, so I have in my pocket, I have a Sharpie or a permanent marker, and all I'm going to do is I'm doing a 12-inch length, measure it across, mark my 12 inches, and then I'm going to take it away, measure twice from the end there, 12 inches, yes, it is perfect. Now, what I'm going to say is that I'm actually used to cutting it the opposite way. So all I do is I put it on the line there, and I'm going to forward and back, forward and back. Now, I've found that it will stop if the two parts are close together. You need to sort of like hold it loosely so that the blade can run freely in between the two. And there we go. It's off. And then I'm finding that you've got lots of this plastic stuff on the edges. I've just simply used my fingers and then just a block, it's one of my kids' blocks, and some sanding paper. And I just grabbed whatever I had upstairs. I didn't buy this sanding paper especially for this job. Got most of it off. Another quick with my finger just to clean it off. And then I'm going to write on there 12 because I'm making so many. And I've already got another one here. It's good also just to sort of like measure it up with another piece to make sure that they're the same. Today when I put together my bar, I am just going to use a mallet to put it all together. I will in the future be gluing or screwing my bar together, but I'm not sure which method I want to use, and I'll be showing you the best method in another video, so look out for that one. Today, just going to use the mallet to get this done. And I start with the feet. So grab one of your T pieces and one of your 10-inch pieces, putting that in there. A second 10-inch piece and put it in there. I'm not going to use, oh, well for this part actually, I can use the rubber mallet just to put it all the way in. Now I'm going to grab my corner. I am putting my corner downwards. My T is going upwards because we're going to stick the other pit in. So putting that with my mallet, putting the other one on, and just making sure that they are lined up. And you can see that's my first foot, and I'm going to do that with the other side. Great, next we need to start on the up parts. So you're going to grab your 26-inch, put it in there. Now I have, whoa, that's nice. I was hoping that would happen. Okay, that one doesn't want to stay. This is where you might need a friend to help, but we'll get it done. Put your T on there. You can get your first length and you can put it in that way. Then grab your other tee. I'm going to put it on that side first and then down. We've got the first part of the bar done. I'm going to hammer that in there. I'm also going to hammer that. I'm going to put my foot against there, press this one towards me. Could also put the bar on its side, I guess. Okay. Now next we get our 8-inch pieces. And I don't know whether I've mentioned this, I've written the number on all my pieces so that I know which one's which. Makes it really easy. 2 more elbows. And we're almost done. Push that in a bit further. And this is what happens when you start hammering them in a bit before you should. Now, like I said, you could, if you wanted to make sure those were really well hammered in, because we're not using any glue or screws just at this point. And ta-da! You do it yourself home ballet bar. It was simple and easy to put together. Now, you could leave it like this, but it probably will fall apart. So I'm going to explore your best options for keeping your bar together in another video. I'm also looking at painting my ballet bar, and I've just got a few questions like, can I just paint it? Do I need a primer? Do I need to sand it? Going to explore that as well. And last of all, my daughter does find this height just a tiny bit too high, so I'm going to explore a few different options for the feet, show you an option to just get this bar about 2 inches lower, and then be able to put these feet back on it another time to raise it up for when your kids grow, and give this bar a bit more versatility. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, so you can find all the rest of them. Bye.